Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we're going to talk pickup winders because I got a new one. What's going on? My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone, and for those of you that are new to the channel, we talk about guitar stuff, guitar tone, guitar tech, and we make pickups. So that's like what really goes on around here. It might look a little weird to those of you that are new to the channel. I actually live full-time in a motorhome, and we tow this Jeep behind it, and we just do everything we need to do from there. Pickup parts are small. We have a website. We make stuff. We send it out. It's pretty awesome. My wife is a big help in that. Pretty stinking killer. So anyway, that's what we do. And we make YouTube videos. So I needed a new pickup winder. I've been doing this for quite a while. Got a few million bajillion winds under my belt. And I was using like a Shatton style pickup winder, which was basically like this little box with an Arduino computer in it with a little infrared counter. And it worked pretty well for a long time. But we are scaling up because things are getting busier. So I wanted to get a new one. I scoured the internet for probably 2 weeks trying to find something cool. I did not want to buy the Mojotone winder at first because first of all, it was $500. Second of all, I thought that it was gear driven, which we'll get into in a little while. And I didn't want a gear-driven winder. I like to be able to drag the wire with my fingers. There's just things I like about a direct drive motor. And so I kind of put it off. And in fact, in many YouTube videos, I said, I don't even want one of these. But I went ahead and bit the bullet and I bought it. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing. So let's go through this thing. I've looked all over the YouTubes and not found a very good review and kind of breakdown of what this thing is. So let's get into it. So first of all, we pull it out of the box and it has the winder itself. And then it's got a power supply, 24 volt power supply. You plug it into the wall. And if we look at this thing kind of basically, if you look at the back first, there's two jacks that are available for a remote foot controller. So you can start and stop and control the speed of the winder via foot control. I'm not a foot control guy. I actually that's a accessory that you buy separately. I'm not a foot control guy. I like to use my hands, my fingers to control the speed. So let's flip it around and look at the front. First of all, we'll start with the black power button. That's simple. Then we got an up gauze button. We've got a down and run stop button. We've got a program and a free mode button. And then we've got the red knob that is our speed control. So basically the way this works is when you turn the winder on, it's going to ask you if you want to use the winds from last time you wound. And it is also going to ask you if you want to use memory. So, and then what you'll do, and to be fair, it doesn't actually give you a choice. In order to go like free, like just turn it on and just do whatever you want, you actually have to hold a button down when you turn it on, and then that will put it into fully manual mode. I would suggest reading through the directions yourself and understanding how you have to push and hold and do various things to get a lot of these modes set. And there are allegedly 10 presets in there where you can, say I'm going to wind this pickup to 10,000 winds and set that as a preset. I'm going to wind this one to, however many other winds and set this as a preset. You can set those and then access them over time, allegedly, and we'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about pickup mounting options. This was probably the reason I bought this pickup winder. It has two that I've found so far. There's probably more combinations, but the two that I use are what you would think. Basically, you see these 2 bolts, and then you can put like a humbucker bobbin on it, and then you put this little bar on there and these little brass nuts. You tighten it all down and everything stays there. And what I like about that is it never flies off. So with the Shatton style one with 3M double-sided tape, you'd wind a few pickups or however many, and that sticky stuff would kind of wear out, and then all of a sudden your pickup would fly off. And sometimes it would be without warning. Sometimes you would know and you would be like, oh, I can do one more and it won't fly off, and then it flies off. So I love the lack of stress of just having a thing where you put it on there, you mount it on, and that's the way it works. So for single coils, there's a hole that the bolt goes through, and then the channel that goes on top is actually like a C channel, so it fits over if your magnets like stick out, if you have staggered pole pieces or whatever, and then it threads into the motor. And I really like that because it holds really, really well. And the next thing would be how we're going to set our guides for our wire. So now there is 2 collars with Allen keys in them that you can slide back and forth and adjust your collar. So for your traverse, so the width of the coil, you can adjust that. It works really, really well. So I guess the other question would be, what's it like to wind a pickup with it? The motor is really smooth. The bearing noise is a little bit loud. I wish it was quieter, which would be really nice. I really love the fact that once you finally get through these buttons and do what you need to do to get the amount of winds that you want, it'll run and run and run, and it goes from your target wind count down to 0, and when it gets to 0, it stops. And it is really, really, really accurate. It works really awesome. And you don't overwind by accident. You don't forget what you're doing. It's amazing. My number one major gripe with this thing, and if anybody from Mojotone actually watches this, you need to rewrite the directions, or you need to somehow explain how to set presets and use presets. I've spoken with other users that have this winder. I am not the only one. The directions are very unclear, and so I have never actually successfully set multiple presets. I've set one, but I've not been able to re-access and use presets. So every time I turn the winder on, I set the amount of winds that I'm using, and you literally have to arrow up to 10,000. It's not that bad. Arrow to 5,000, arrow to however many thousand winds you want. If you shut the winder off, it forgets it, and then you have to start all over again. I have not successfully used the presets. Please tell me how in the comments. Mojotone, if you watch this, shoot me an email, call me. I will shoot an update to this. I don't want to bag on the product, but that is crap. It's the dumbest thing ever. If it would be easier, this thing would be awesome. Question, should you buy one? You could make your own winder out of a sewing machine. You could make it out of a fishing reel. You could make it out of whatever you wanted and actually wind pickups. The thing is, if you really want to try this as a hobby, I would definitely recommend buying something like this. I know it's $500, but it would pay itself off if you do more than a few. The reason is because it makes the whole thing easier. Now, mind you, I've wound millions and millions of winds, okay? The stress level going from the Shatton style to this without worrying about bobbins flying off, without worrying about extraneous vibrations, without worrying, I mean, it is 100% completely changed how I wind pickups. It has made me so much more productive. It works really, really well, and I think it's totally worth it. I would buy another one. When it gets ready for us to buy a second one, I'll buy a second one. It's really, really good. Anyway, hopefully that helps, because like I said, I have not seen a good review on this thing on the internet. Just showing you some of the features and giving you my impressions of it after winding, I've probably wound, I don't know, 60 or 70 pickups on it now over the last couple weeks, and it's awesome. It's really, really good. Thanks for hanging out. My name is Dylan. We have a live chat on Thursdays. I think those are at 8 p.m. Eastern time now. We moved them because a lot of you wanted to participate from, other time zones and stuff, and that makes it easier. And we also have a video comes out on Monday. We have a video that comes out on Friday, the one you're seeing now. And the Thursday live shows are now available as a podcast. I'm working on Apple. I've already got Spotify, and I've already got Google and some other ones. So click the link below, and you can listen to that as an audio-style podcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I guess we'll see you soon.